we're going to go through this check off oxygen supply systems. It's on page 237 in your lab book. So we're going to do both the H tank and the E tank. We're going to go through this process here, and I'll try to show you, I'll try to make sure I'm on screen so you guys can see that. Let's see. Sorry, I had this set up, but now it's not wanting to do right. All right. Hopefully that'll work there. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my storage area, and I'm going to get my H tank. And the H tank will have a chain on it, so I'm going to release the safety chain. This will be our fake safety chain here. And I'm going to move the cylinder onto the cart. So I'll have my cart here, pull it up next to it, and just hold the H tank close to your body. Put it on the dolly. Put the safety chain on the dolly. And then release the third wheel, tilt the H tank back, and then you're just going to transport it to wherever you need it to go, to the patient's room. Once you get it to the patient's room, you're going to lift it up, release the third wheel because it might be a trip hazard. Let me see if that's too close. Yeah, let me scoot it back a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. How about there? Yeah, it's a little better. So once I have it up where I want it to be, I'm going to take my cap off. I'm going to give the patient an audible warning that I'm about to make a loud sound. So, Mr. Costner, this is going to be loud just for a second, and I'm going to crack the tank. Okay, on, off. Once I've cracked the tank, I'm going to go ahead and grab my supplies. And for my H tank, I'm going to use my board on gauge. Hopefully you can see that. There is my board on gauge. I'm actually going to turn this around so you guys can see it. And my wrench, which I do not see. Here it is. So I've already cracked it. Now I'm just going to tighten it up. Just a little tight. Turn it on. I'll bring the camera over so you can see this part. Alright. I turned it on. I know it's on because I have pressure in it now. And if I were looking at my PSI, so that's 1,000 there. That's 1,500. So I would say about 1,250 PSI on my tank. Hope we can see that. About 1,250. I won't be particular with you. So I'm going to take that PSI and then I'm going to have a flow setting. So I will tell you the flow setting and we'll just make it up. And I want you to see, turn on the flow. So if it's 10 liters, I want you to turn the flow meter on to 10 liters. If it's 2, turn the ball to where it's in between the 2 mark there. And from that point, you will use the calculation. So the PSI, so 1250, oops, there we go. The 1250 times the cylinder factor divided by the flow will tell you how long this tank will last. So I'm going to put this back up and we'll get the E-tank. So I can go ahead and turn this tank off. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and what we call bleed out the oxygen from the flow meter. So basically you're just turning the flow meter on. And then all the pressure will go out of it. And then now you can take the board on gauge off without making a loud sound. So go ahead and take that off. Put the cap back on it. And it's going to go back to storage. Alright, so I'll move it out of the way. It's going to go back to the storage room. And I'll grab my E-tank. I'm going to pause this for just a second. I want to get that off of there. Let's see if I can pause. Okay, I'll just start another video with the E-tank.